Life is an ongoing battle between the bridges you need to burn and the ones that are safe to cross. However, in regards to success, less is always more. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at some of the things you definitely should stop doing and what to do to achieve good success. 12. Stop spending all of your money. In life, everybody seems to be sailing on the YOLO boat. And as a result of this, it's led to increased carelessness while spending money. You see, you should not fall for this trap because you might end up with a miserable life filled with worry. The worry of how to put food on the table only days after you've received your paycheck, due to a large portion being used to service loans you took to buy unnecessary things. Things that most likely satisfied you only when you had purchased them. But this feeling quickly faded as the reality of how much it costs to buy such a worthless item hits. You need to stop spending all your money and learn to live within your means. Be courageous to identify when you're making an exaggerated purchase and stop yourself. It will also benefit you in the long run when you learn how to save and invest your money. Rest assured that it will take blood and sweat to ditch this mindless spending habit. But you'll be shocked by the amount you save if you implement this. Better yet, you'll have a more peaceful life filled with bliss. 11. Stop ignoring your health. There's an age-old saying that equates ignorance of one's health with a mechanic who's too busy to take care of his tools. What do you understand from this proverb? We can tell you that your health is your greatest and most important tool in this life, because you might have the time and the money to work and play, but without health, you can't do any of the things you desire to do. Let me let you in on a little secret. Health is the foundation of wealth, with multifactored benefits towards your life. This is because of several reasons, such as health is an investment that will always give you good returns. Good health is a means to better living. Health makes life more fulfilling. And, my personal favorite, the money saved by taking good care of your health is as good as money earned. So don't be left out. Ensure your health by regularly exercising and eating healthy. Also, make it a point to go for regular body checkups and a mandatory full body checkup at least once every year. 10. Stop comparing yourself to others. There's always going to be someone in the room that's smarter than you, prettier than you, or has more money than you. However, that doesn't mean that you're any less pretty or smarter. Indulging yourself in the comparison is like going to a gunfight with a knife. You'll always lose. And while on the topic, on social media, no one ever shows their true selves. Everyone is showing a picture-perfect version of themselves, usually with their flaws edited away. So, essentially, you are comparing a raw, unedited version of your life to a photoshopped, flawless version of someone else. So, now do you see how this is unfair? Always remind yourself that life isn't always as glamorous as the pictures on Instagram. In an actual sense, folks are living their real lives paying bills, working hard, and unfortunately having a bit of strife in their relationships. So instead of using other people as a benchmark for your own life, try using your values to check how far you've come. 9. Stop searching for a magic bullet. Whenever people watch TV or scroll through the internet, it's very common to see ad pop-ups promising the world, especially when it comes to weight loss. Have you ever come across any? For example, lose 30 kilograms in 3 days by drinking this concoction. These are fairy tale promises that never amount to anything except you parting ways with your money. Real success has no shortcuts or hacks because it can only be achieved through perseverance, and only when it's pursued passionately. It's not hard work that wins any athlete their medals. It's their dedication to hard work and discipline. In life, there's no magic pill that will make all your problems disappear. Because the biggest difference between the majority and successful people is that they're willing to go the extra mile. Unlike most people, they strive to learn the value of being motivated rather than depending on talent alone, because they know it will open doors bigger than any connection could ever. 8. Stop procrastinating. I know at one point or another, we found ourselves in situations where we convince our minds that the only solution is putting aside the work and getting back to it at a later point. When you find yourself in such a fix, you should remain assertive and refuse the urge to become lazy. There isn't any other definition of procrastination except laziness, and if you didn't know, a lazy path leads to a dim destiny. As long as you planned out your day well, I doubt if there will be any room for procrastination. If any obstructions arise, then this will groom you into becoming a better individual by facing it head first without any excuses. Even when it comes to exercising, the only bad workout is the one that wasn't done. 7. Stop complaining. Another bad habit we should look forward to dropping is the constant complaining about everything. For starters, you should know that we can control every element around us and should learn to adjust to what is available. If you understand this well, it will reduce any reason to complain, because at the end of the day, you might not get a solution. Sometimes when we feel overwhelmed by our challenges, we tend to look for someone to whom we can vent and complain. This isn't a bad remedy to unburden our hearts, but you better keep track of how often you're complaining. If you keep complaining constantly, you might just lose that one friend whom you seek refuge from, because it's way easier to cut off someone who constantly complains than to help them out. If you must complain, try your best to do it correctly. 6. Stop wasting time. Time is a rather vital aspect of life, and how we spend our time is crucial to our success and progression in life. If you've not asked yourself this question before, try it today and give an honest response. How have you been spending your time? Time is like the wind and never blows the same place twice. Therefore, we have to hack a way to invest our time wisely. With advanced technology and so many other distractions around, you might end up trapped in the time loop if you aren't careful. Avoid bad habits such as watching TV, bad company, and drugs that will waste your precious time. The only way to be able to manage your time well is by proper planning of your daily tasks and religiously sticking to your plan. Otherwise, you'll find yourself tangled up in between tasks that would have otherwise run smoothly. Time wasting will cause you a lot of other problems, since that is what causes one to procrastinate. You better stay sharp and focused at all times. This race isn't for the swift, but the wise can adjust to whatever environment and situation. 5. Stop taking everything personally. Sorry to be the one to burst your bubble, but the world doesn't revolve around you. And most, probably just a handful of people living in the world, care about you. So why do you get offended quickly when someone makes unwanted remarks about you? I promise you it's way easier to brush it off and move on with your life. For example, the person who said they dislike rap or another genre of music that you love didn't mean to offend you. They just shared their own opinion of it and how they felt about the music. You don't need to wear your armor and pull out your sword, ready to attack a defenseless man to prove a point. Learn to embrace the uniqueness that comes with being human. We're different in our thinking and our tastes, so the point is, don't get too offended. 4. Stop watching TV. Televisions have become a nuisance in our society, wasting away smart brains to become couch potatoes. The truth is that we spend more than 5 hours every day on our television, enjoying movies and shows. What we don't realize is that this time wasted can be utilized better doing more beneficial things. If you can't go a day without watching TV, you probably have become addicted. There isn't any better way to say this, but that's the reality. 3 hours a day doesn't seem much, right? Until at the end of the week, you lose close to a day of your time. If you really think about it, you'll realize that that's a ton of time wasted. Time which you could have put to good use. Just imagine what you can do with an extra 24 hours every week. That's the time we waste on our TV sets. You can use that time to learn a new skill and nourish your intellect. Tell me, can you go a day without watching the telly? If you cannot, this is an opportunity to challenge your mind and stop this bad habit. 3. Stop making promises. Making promises commits us to things we aren't sure we can deliver and deviates our time and space to carry out more pressing issues. Imagine how disappointing and derailing it is to make a promise and not come through with it. It's better to act from the sidelines without committing yourself and surprise the expectations of who you're helping out. In any case, this will leave you in a safe space to handle your stuff and still offer a helping hand without any external pressure to do anything. But once you promise someone something, expect constant follow-ups and pressure that eventually holds you back from other stuff. The lesson here is to avoid promising beyond what you can deliver. If you can avoid completely committing yourself to other people's business, the better. 2. Stop being complacent. It's okay to listen to advice from people around you, but the problem comes in when you react to every piece of advice and compliment we receive. Nobody's perfect, and that's our strength. Some people will have the best intentions at heart when they give you advice, and others might just be doing so to kill your morale. We have to have our ideologies and a mind of ourselves, because sometimes the advice someone might give you might not be the best approach to your situation at the moment. This doesn't mean you have to be rude and bluntly disagree with those giving the advice. Listen to what's being told, and from that information, pick whatever's relevant to you and discard what isn't. Sometimes we just have to go against the norms for the greater good, but this means we have to shun away some opinions. 1. Stop talking. By this, I don't mean that you should never talk again, but knowing the right time to talk and when to shut up. To learn more, we should talk less, because a running mouth may end up giving away your secrets. Talking is essential to man, but other times it lands us in trouble, which we could have avoided. Look, for instance, in a relationship, you sometimes need to allow your partner to express themselves because you can't both be talking and expect good communication between the both of you. Instead of wasting your breath and words, it's better to let your actions do the talking for you. Actually, talking less even makes you look smarter. Try these tips out and let us know how they worked out for you. Remember, actions speak louder than words. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and found value in this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, welcome and subscribe for more content like this. With that said, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.